Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie, and this week's video is a continuation of my open collaboration with Jessica from the Waldock Way and Abby from Rooted in Rest. And in October, their subject was how do we make math fun for our kids, and I'm really excited to see everybody's idea because it is something that I struggle with a little bit, and I would love to have more ideas. What is other people's favorite games? We aren't a huge game family other than doing like Minecraft and stuff on the computer, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of games are out there. So the first thing that I will say is math can be one of those subjects that is very you either like it or you don't, and it's hard to make it fun sometimes. But I have found with my girls coming from the public school system, they did math every single day. Every single day. And so when I implemented the 4-day work week, if you will, for our major subjects, it was amazing how they were like, what? We don't have to do it on Friday? And I'm like, that's right. So the math program that we use is Matthew-C Beta. And I just found from my years of working with Darian with Matthew-C, I really liked how simplistic it was, as far as there wasn't a lot on the page to distract and whatever. And I know for some people that's not a bonus. You want the things that are kind of make it the good and the beautiful, for instance, has stickers and videos that you can watch and all sorts of fun stuff. But for my kids, I didn't want what they had at school, which was let's work on a whole bunch of different things and become master of nothing. So that was why I really went with Matthew-C, because I had seen how it works with mastery and then moving forward. So that's kind of where I went with it. And then they do have it so that you're doing a lesson, and then you're doing systematic review is what they call it. And so what I do is I do 2 of these lesson practices, and then I'll do 1 systematic review, which has some of the things that they've been working on in the lesson, but also building on whatever they had beforehand, just to keep things fresh and remind them. So they do 3 lessons, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on Thursday they'll do the test from the test booklet. And then if they get 80 or higher, we move on to the next lesson. So even just by doing that, I have found made a huge difference in how my girls responded. And then if they didn't get 80 or above, then I would have them do more practice, because I have more practice sheets. And then I would also do K-5 learning, which does grade level, and so then I could pull pages from there to do that. So that was one way that I found for my girls in particular. They found it awesome. The other thing that I love about Matthew-C is they have the manipulatives. So they have all these little blocks and stuff like that. And so if they get their math lessons done fairly quickly, I let them play with these. With my son, he's not really a playing with a blocks kind of guy. His autism is really like, I have to do math. Okay, fine, I'll do it. But it's not something he particularly enjoys. But I've found that they have really, really worked in helping him see, Matthew-C, how to add and subtract and see those concepts in real world application. Now, for the more fun side of it, that was more how we get it done. But for the more fun side, with my Sienna in particular, but also what I will do with Darian once we finish beta, probably sometime this year, is I did get a set of these from the Good and Beautiful. I got the digital copy because in Canada it's silly expensive for sending across the border. So I just had these printed on my computer, and then I took them to somebody who could bind them for me. But the musical multiplication I have found to be a lot of fun for my youngest daughter. My middle daughter was like, no, the songs are bad and wrong, and and she just didn't. But it's been fun because my daughter, my youngest daughter, enjoys torturing her older sister with singing the songs, and I just laugh because I'm like, again, she's practicing her multiplication without having, like, really realizing that she is learning. And so I'm really enjoying that. And then I think that it's going to be a good fit for Darian because I think his memory is really good, so we might not need to do a lot of practice on that, but I don't know. So I want to see how it works for him and what he would like. And then the last thing that I wanted to show you is I found some of these books. My kids are candy fiends. I'm always trying to get them to eat less, specifically my son, because that's a big motivation of his, is sugar and sweets and whatever. And so this is one of the subtraction ones, and so they've got like Hershey Kisses and different things that you can get those treats and actually put them on and figure things out that way. The multiplication book, it's all multiples of chocolate bars. And so again, you could get chocolate, and then each time, if your children aren't going to just eat it, do that. And then the fractions book, which also they use with chocolate. So I thought that that was kind of a fun way to introduce a lot of these concepts in a fun, silly, goofy way with candies and making that work. The other thing I have done in the past, and I don't have it to show you right now, is Matthew C. actually has a big clock that you can practice your time with, like actually telling time on an analog clock. And so for my kids, I made little hands and we played with that, and it was like colorful popsicle sticks that I used, and then they just made them go around and whatever, and so you could practice doing that. And then the last thing that I would say is, yes, math does have to have a certain amount of seriousness, if you will, but I also know that if you see your kids struggling, giving them days off or time to run around or have a race and figure out how much time is between the first person who got first and the person who got second. Just doing little things like that and then going, okay, let's get back to our math, can make a big difference in how your kids respond to math. Thankfully, our kids do it first thing in the morning. My eldest is usually done before I even get up. And so I haven't found that there's been a big push and pull because they understand that their math lesson, if they get to work on it, they do it well. Last thing, my youngest daughter has spent a lot of time doing math sometimes, like 2 hours. Or getting on 3 hours. And I used to get really frustrated about it because I'm like, okay, we need to move on with our day. And so then we would be ending up doing school until their father got home. And it's, it was one of those things where I took it to my facilitator because she was spending more time drawing all over her math book. She's huge into dragon riders, and so there was Toothless all over her math page. And then I'm like, you have to focus on the math problems so we can get done. I asked my facilitator about that, and she actually said that not you should let her do it for 2-3 hours, but she did say that sometimes kids who are autistic need to process things while drawing or doing that sort of thing. And so then just saying, okay, you can, if you need to, draw a little bit, but not, take up 2-3 hours, isn't a bad thing. It isn't something that we need to squash or change in our kids. So I wanted to share that just in case you have a kiddo like mine. This year we have found it way less that she needs to do that. But yeah, allowing our kids the needs and the time that they need to facilitate the understanding of some of these concepts can be a struggle, but at the same time entirely worth it. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please check out the playlist down below where other moms are sharing how they make math fun, because I think it can be a struggle, and I am so excited to see what others have done. I'm particularly interested in looking for games, so I hope that you find things that work for you. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.